You know, it would be really nice to be telepathic, meaning to be able to communicate without having to speak. The tongue just wants to get in the way. Ever since I started this, to try to do this, I had a laser pointer and everything, and it stopped working as soon as I started this. All kinds of things were going haywire with the sound and everything. And after a while, I was getting very frustrated. And then I just started laughing about it. I go, how stupid is this? It really is dumb. And I was like, and I realized something. I go, uh, before I did, well, I actually started to do this, which was to go over this information, but I never really got around to it because I'm doing so many things or trying to do so many things, and it gets lost in the shuffle, if you know what I'm saying. But prior to doing the Cathara Level 1 techniques, such as connecting to the mentor, your mentor, which is your higher consciousness bands within the second harmonic universe, you really need to be able to do this. Now, this is not a technique from Keylontic science, all right? I'm going to refer to words that are associated with Keylontic science, but the techniques that I have here that I'm going to provide to you, which are very easy, very simple to do, are not from KS. They're much simpler than that. And your intention, hear this, folks, your intention is the catalyst for anything working. This is a consciousness field, a source consciousness field. It is through intention through which you create or initiate and co-create. Your intention is everything, and you're extremely powerful, even though you may not feel like that, but realize you are. And these implant blockages are just deceptions, all right? Let's make that clear. It's refracting energy, but once you're aware of what it is, and especially when we get into these techniques and the true nature, emphasize the true nature of who and what you are and your energy that relates to your true nature, it just becomes silly from that perspective. That's why I was able to laugh here, because it's like I'm just seeing it for what it is within my very core being, and I start laughing about it, laughing at myself and everything else, So let's briefly go over the anatomy and actually what the obstruction is, okay? We don't need to say who did it, but I guess I'll go ahead and do that. It's known as being the Zeta Seal. That's the frequency fence, all right? All these terms, man. I like to think of it, here's the way I like to think of it, okay? It's really simple. If I'm driving on a mountain road and there is this tree that fell within the road and it's obstructing my path, I am not going to get out of the car or vehicle and take a look at the tree to see what kind of species it is, I just want to remove the obstacle. Hence the reason for this. We're just looking to use simple techniques to remove the obstacle. Okay? So let's get on with it. So we're going to be using some KS terminology here, all right? All right. Now, before I get into this, on my website, there's a couple PDFs that if you haven't downloaded them to help you with this, just to be able to have a bit more understanding, and if you want to get into it deeper, you can. There's some charts and stuff within those PDFs that you can take a look at, most of which I recreated, okay? One particular chart I did not recreate, everything else I did, all right? Just saying. All right. One of the charts is crystal seals and artificial seals, the clearing. All right. That's one of the PDFs on my website. All right. And the other one is hands are like quantum transmitters and sensors. Those are the two PDFs that you can download if you haven't. All right. All right, number one thing, all right, we're going to get into our nature, all right, and we're going to see our connection here with Source as the priority at looking at this in the process of clearing. So the Azure, that's our connecting point through the monad, which is the oversoul connection directly through, which is not obstructed, nor can it be. Now, it can be created so that you are misled or become unaware, okay? But the connection can never be severed, ever. So that can't be messed with. So the Azure is your connecting point, and so we're going to focus on that a little bit later, okay? And just so you know, that is connecting to the star crystal seal number 6, all right, which connects to your morphogenic chakra number 8, all right? They connect together, and that would be your thymus gland location, all right? All right. That being said, let's begin by moving the energy from our head into our heart. That's technique number 1. Actually, there's 3 techniques, okay? But this is the first one. It doesn't take very long to do this. All these take very short time. Some of them you can go deeper into, but they're easily initiated, okay? All right, so dropping the energy from the head, mind, into the heart, all right? All right, how are you going to do that? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to take your finger, either your left or right hand, doesn't matter, and this is a point of connection that's going to create a sensory connection when you do this. You're going to count from 10 to 1, and you want to tap as you go down. You don't have to tap any specific area. You just want to tap yourself as you're counting, okay? And as you do, you're going to feel the energy. Your intention is you're making this happen, remember. You're making this happen. So you're creating the sensory so that when you count, you're feeling the energy drop into your heart center, okay? This is known as being the head to heart energy drop, okay? You are the captain of the helm always. Remember, you are the one that's making it happen. It's not a matter of pushing buttons. It's not the technique. It's you that is facilitating it through your intention. Remember that. It is so essential, okay? So it is just assisting you to do what you desire to be done, okay? So taking the energy, dropping it down like an elevator, that energy is going to be dropping as you use the sensory of touch to initiate the movement of that energy. And once you learn to do that and you make the connection to that, you can simply do that just through your intention. You don't have to tap yourself, okay? So, first technique, number 1, is to recognize you are the love that you have always been. These are very simple techniques. Understand this. And it's meant to be simple. It's not meant to be complicated. Think of a time, any time, where you had joy. Any time that you had happiness. Any time that you had a belly laugh that you can remember. Any moment that can bring a smile on your face. Any time throughout your life, even today, perhaps, you had that experience. And allow that to amplify, that feeling. And as you're feeling it, embrace it. Embrace it like a long-lost family member with a deep sense of care. All right, haven't seen you for a long time. How's it going? You know? You want to center it in the Azure, right here. You want to allow it to deepen within that. All right? So you did the heart to mind, mind to heart energy drop, and now you're contemplating the love that you've always been. You're allowing it to come through the expression of memory of joy, and then allowing it to amplify. And then continue to allow it to amplify. Continue. Allow it to build. Allow it to deepen further into the Azure. All right? All right. Once you do that, allow yourself to relax within that and just stay in that state of meditation. What's interesting about that technique is that you can do that anytime throughout the day, regardless what you're doing, because you're always very coherent and always very aware of your surroundings while you're doing that. Well, you can be, put it that way, and it's a technique that doesn't take very much to do, but has a great result. It has a most beneficial result, because the love that you have always been is the catalyst for everything within this universal construct. It is the trump card over everything. Your love, the love that you are as the unique signature that you are. There is none like you, therefore your love is a bit different from mine. I am not you, you are not me, yet we are one. Do you follow with what I'm saying? Okay, that being said, let's move into the crystal seals and the locations, all right? This goes into these other implants that you'll see when you take a look at the crystal seals and the artificial seals PDF. You'll see the locations for that. You'll see a technique to use with that. But you can use this, what I'm showing you, as being the catalyst to be able to move energy. And especially when you get into the sound and light techniques, man, that's extremely powerful technique to use, because you're unifying sound and light into Manu energy. You're going from a biwave into a triwave when you use this technique, and it becomes extremely powerful. Everything, your senses and your awareness of things becomes amplified. Your ability to move energy, it just wants to move by itself, and you can just navigate it. It's very powerful. All right, so let's take a look at these crystal seals. All right, just above the heart and just below the heart, we have the crystal seal. Above the heart, we have a crystal star crystal seal number 5, and just below that, we have star crystal seal number 4. Now, what these negative alien agendas have been part of is that of putting blockages, or should I say refraction lenses, within the above the and below these crystal seals, which is easy to remove those. And how do you remove those? I just told you. I told you how to do it. Once you have the energy flowing through you, that love nature, all this stuff becomes easy to remove. Easy, easy. And if you know the location of where these crystal seals are, you could see them within your mind's eye, and you can just transmute the energy. And it's done through love, folks. Believe it or not. No fear, no fear, no fear. No fear. Fear is an artificial emotion. It's not real. It's fake. All right? It's deceptive. There's a difference between discernment and fear. Here, without going into a big, long lecture and getting back on track here, I'm saying is that through your true nature and being able to move that energy, that love energy, you're able to transmute these blockages, these refractive lenses that are keeping the energy from flowing. You're able to move them. See, now I'm going to talk a little bit about the sound and light techniques. One of the techniques that I use that's an essential technique for the sound and light techniques is vibratory harmonization, vibrating in the body and being able to move the energy in very specific location through being aware of the vibration and where it should be located first. That's another subject. That's another, it's not even a video. It really requires a seminar to go through that to make sure everybody gets it. But once you get it, it's sort of like riding a bike. You got it. And then I can step out of the picture, and that was the whole idea. I'm not interested in copywriting or trademarking anything that I come up with. I'm wanting to give it away. But at the same time, I need to be able to live while I'm here in order to continue my work. Long story short is that my intention is to be able to give so people can become liberated and free. So I give and have been working towards that. And as soon as I get it, I give it away. I don't even have time to process it. I have to be processing it as I'm giving it away, because that's the way it's been. So what I'm asking you here to do is realize that you're a lot more powerful than you think you are, and your intention is everything, and this is simpler than what it's made out to be. Okay? Realize that you are the love that you've always been, not the fear that you've been circumstantially, conditionally obstructed with, thwarted from your path, forced to go out of your car to go look at the species of tree that's in the road, which is not the problem. The problem is the obstacle that is in the road. And we focus and have been led to focus on so many things that don't really matter. And the simplicity of these techniques that I gave here, mind to heart drop, going within, realizing that your soul is very childlike. And I'm talking about not childlike naive, I'm talking about childlike loving and caring and unfettered. That true nature of you within this expression of manifest reality when it is allowed to come through. Now, if you're looking to do spiritual warfare and battle with the adversary, so to speak, then you're kind of setting yourself up for conflict. And that conflict is a never-ending thing within that condition. The cause and effect for that conflict is more conflict. The idea is to neutralize the conflict. How do you neutralize a conflict? Well, through neutrality or through the love that you've always been. Not with the same stuff that's causing the conflict. It's sort of like the idea of being traumatized. Are you able to transmute that crystallized thought energy into a balanced, neutral state by reliving the trauma, or is it by healing the trauma, by embracing and loving it and nurturing it so that it becomes transmuted? Well, it's the latter, of course. It's through love. So neither does conflict resolve itself through conflict. All right. Hopefully you got something from this. You understand? Shall I go over this one more time? This is the reason why I need like a workshop and stuff, because it allows me to be able to connect with people and talk to them and get feedback from them, and we can get things done. You know, it's difficult doing it this way. It really is. Because I find it necessary for me to be able to connect with people. It's very important for me to do that. It's very important for us to do that. It's essential, in fact. So, anyhow. All right, folks. You know where to go for these PDFs. If you have any questions, you can contact me privately. Please do that. Peace and blessings to you, that you may be a blessing to others. Indeed. All right.